Hello guys, so Jerry speaking. Welcome to Bedtime Stories, episode number 812. Today with you in honor of St. Patrick's Day, the St. Patrick's Day alphabet book. So let's read out, shall we? So we got it for us. It's words by Liz Saunders. Pictures by Leslie Dale Scott. Here we go. So all these leprechaun rainbows and hats and everything. Gold. See here's the ABC from the leprechauns. Here we go. Published by Dual Press, Name Source Books. There we go. Look at the. Oh, hang on. It's not gonna turn the page anyway. Anyway, look at the leprechauns. Magical leprechauns are the mascots of St. Patrick's Day. There are lots of leprechauns, large and small, hidden in this book. Can you find them all? Swappins. The day when everyone is Irish. Like some people, like me, for example. Every March 17th, all over the world, like planet that is, people in Ireland lives, friends, join the Rossi celebration called St. Patrick's Day, okay? This holiday dates away all the way back to 1631. Wow, okay. In its first year, it was a feast day of the honor of St. Patrick, the patron saint of Ireland. Okay. Nowadays, we pay tribute to Irish heritage and culture, wearing shades of green, others with the heritage happy St. Patrick's Day. There you go. It makes sense anyway. Now the next page goes like this. It has to be A to Z. A Soapy Story. Legend is as it's for that St. Patrick banished all snakes from Ireland. Why? Anyway, but scientists tell us that there were never snakes there at all. No super fossils that have ever been found on the island. Most likely the tale of analogy. The story that someone St. Patrick banished able to the island. Don't know why. A is for oscillate for Ireland. Another name for the real St. Patrick. Who is supposed to have driven all the snakes out of the island. Kind of different anyway. B is for beard, bagpipes, ball horn, a Traditional Irish drum, and blessings. Beer and awesome pronounce it anyway. Leprechauns and the magical sprites of St. Patrick's Day often have beards because they are male, like me. There are no female leprechauns. No, sorry, because I'm a male, and you should know that. Next page. Anyways, seeds for clover, corn, beef, and cabbage, and of course, calling them. You should know you should only eat 3 of those things. Okay? Which one you can eat? See below for the answer. So I don't have to know the answer to these questions. Sorry. Corned beef is meat or smoked silky savory brine, just like pickles. Pickles are sour and sweet, okay? And cooked, okay? Cabbage is a vegetable. Corn is made of potatoes, butter, cream, and leafy green, and onions. Yum. Kind of different anyway. Clover is grass. If you eat some once, you should probably won't want it to again. I don't know why, but that's just me. These were Dublin, the capital of the Fair Island. Its name means black tidal pole, because Dublin sits in the bay where 2 rivers meet. Kind of different anyway. St. Patrick baptized people the site of the modern day St. Patrick's Chicago, Dublin. It was built in his honor. Well, so happens. So there you go. Next page. Anyways, E's were Iron Gold Block, which I don't know what it was, sorry. Which means Iron Forever. Iron Gold Block. Anyway, that takes the cake. a jolly jig, known as the Irish cake dance, with a part, the traditional Irish Easter celebration, okay? Makes a more difference anyway. Everyone would circle around the large, beautiful cake to dance, the piper play music, okay? The best dancer or the one who kept dancing the longest got to take the cake home. Even though I'm a Irish, Scottish, and England type of skin. You know, that's just me. Anyway, episodes of Irish folk dancing, fills, and fruits. And that's the way it should be anyway. So there you go. Next page. Anyways, now, a few common Irish terms are the following. Deodot means hello. Tradition's got to be with you. So means goodbye. Tradition is safe. Deodot means please. Tradition means well you will. G's for greed. And golly, have been now say what. The cellular language of Ireland. The Irish language is called Irish. Okay? The English but college is for Irish. And yeah. You know, wherever you pronounce these words, I do not speak in Ireland, but we'll figure it out. When does how it comes before St. Patrick's Day in the dictionary. See here, okay? H is for heart. Ireland became national symbol, okay? Now, Ireland's the only country with the harp and the symbol. Did not know that. And for Halloween, which originated in Ireland. Huh. Really? Every year, people celebrate the Celtic Harvest Festival who disguises and made lanterns from carved up turnips from not pumpkins. Keep evil spirits all at bay. You know, I'm more of a St. Patrick's person, so that's my case anyway. So, in that case, that'll be more different anyway. But you know, the next page, speaking of the devil, yes, we go the witch, but I for Island of Ireland. It kind of makes more sense anyway. The Emerald Isle. The island is divided into two countries: the Republic Island and Northern Ireland, part of the United Kingdom, which I love to see the United Kingdom so badly. Sometime later, future years ahead. J for Jake. Joy and jokesters, which I've created more jokes to begin with. These colored fairies, leprechauns, who protect their treasure. It makes sense in any way. Leprechauns trying to avoid capture because the legend has it, okay? They have a force to grant their captures with free wishes. They'll also protect their gold, which end up at the end of the rainbow. Somewhere rainbow different snacks. They get so much gold. Well, they're shoemakers who scroll and raise their profile. And that's what it should be in any way. Kind of makes a difference anyway. Next page. Anyways, it's gonna let me. Anyway. Case for kissing the Blarney Stone. But now, sorry. Legendary rock with magical properties and Kelly Green, which most Irish of H-U-E-S, I pronounced it, sorry. It's named for the Irish last name Kelly, which is, since the color is bright and lush, like the Irish landscape. So this episode is like nearly 10 minutes long per episode, but anyway, Wise Balls love St. Patrick's Day. The favorite color is green. Well, I wear green today, so there you go. Bunch of Barney, 600-year-old Barney Castle, is home to the Barney Stone, a magical rock built on the top of the castle. Once upon a time, you have endangered your ankles over the outside of the castle wall to kiss the stone, hanging upside down. Now you have to climb 128 steps to kiss the stone epiglyphs, something like that. Named because it's supposed to give you the gift of God. Because you the stone's location, you still need to lie in the back to kiss it while upside down. You see? kind of different anyway. Swappins. Next page. Anyways, travelers beware. Leprechauns were the protected species under European Union law. Cyber for a loop, trial by Corey Ford Island has been a centenary of the country's last remaining leprechauns, which both total 236. Wow. Else leprechauns. Oh, you have heard of them already? Yeah, I heard of them so many years ago. And for what? Which you'll get if you catch one with Robins. And for March, especially the 17th, and the anniversary of St. Patrick's death. Robins. At Vermont Ends Park, Portland, Oregon, which I've never been to yet. The smallest park in the wow. Okay. Only 452 square inches. It's the only place leprechaun can be found outside of Ireland. Which I never heard of. Which, okay, it's unheard of. Anyway, next page. Anyways, it's New York City, home to one of the world's largest St. Patrick's Day parades since 1762. Never know that. Okay? Although New York's St. Patrick's Day celebrates the nation of Ireland, the holiday really took off when Irish immigrants to the United States wanted to honor the home country. Okay? Also, grandchildren of and many of Irish last names. Peas, pot of gold, parade, and potatoes. You see? Swappins. So the next page, if you're gonna let me, anyway, kills were quick, kills were nothing. Huh? What do you mean nothing? It's kill is not for nothing. What do you mean nothing? Okay. Because there's no Q in the Irish language, the alphabet also doesn't use J, K, V, W, X, Y, and Z. When words are borrowed from the other language, though you might see these letters. Seriously? Come on, man. Anyways, R's rainbow. You see, you should look for the end of it. The final pot of gold. Well, I'm surprised at you, this book. Come on. It should have a Q in the St. Patrick's Day alphabet. Come on, seriously. What's the leprechaun's favorite type of music? Shamrock and roll. Heavy metal, ladies and gentlemen. Sport, golf, because there are so many greens. I'm more of a bowler, thank you. Place to sit, shamrocking chair. I'm more of a heavy metal, like a desk chair, thank you. Part of the house, patio. Anyway, espresso, silver bread, shamrock. There's 3-leaf color. Okay, swappins. Next page. Anyways, cheese with trickery, something like that, which is what leprechauns use to protect their treasure. Because I love treasure. But perhaps you can get some of your. We can say a leprechaun trap. Northern Orange Rebels, ladies and gentlemen. Used for Union in Chicago anyway, which is Palmer Union have been dying to deliver green since 1962. 3 years before right after my dad's was born. Okay? Emerald Wars. Okay? The diet returns to the Chicago River during every St. Patrick's Day of a stinky history. Very nifty, I guess. In the 1960s, the river had a sewage problem. To identify where the pollution was coming from, the city used green dye to identify the wastewater. In December 1961, the member of the Plumbers Union saw the green streaks and had an idea. In March, he dumped 100 pounds of dye in the river for St. Patrick's Day. These days, less dye in it is used, and the river stays green for a few hours instead of for the week. Wow. Difficulties, I know. Next page. Anyways, bees with St. Valentine, which I've heard of. But How did he get in here? Well, why his heart lies in the church in Dublin, that's how. Figure it out. Those are wee lassies and lords. Waterford, Ireland, the home of the first St. Patty's Parade, which I didn't know that there's such a thing as that at the time back then. In Ireland in 1903, and the wearing of the green, which I wear green all the time. Some describes it time of history, Irish history. The Irish rose up to defy the British mockery and claims their independence. Before then, people were allowed to wear green clothes and shamrocks, punishable by death. Okay? So what happens? People need to know what need to have X, Y, and Z. Need to do something. Okay, now it makes more sense. X is for explanation of joy to be heard everywhere on this March 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Just don't say Patty's, please. Why not? You can say that all the time. When there's a correct way to say Patty's on St. Patrick's Day, we have a cookout. Bits and pieces. We'll figure this out. Y is for yarns, okay? We have a wool in the tail, but with spawn, tell story can also be called spinning yarn. Getting very sheepy. There are so many sheep in Ireland. During the sheep outnumber the people. At the last count, there were 6 million sheep and 5 million people quit living in Ireland. Which one is bigger? Sloppins. Z is for zoom, which is what you have to do if you want to catch a leprechaun, run. And that's the way it should be in any way. You gotta catch a leprechaun for leprechaun trap. And the last page of the book has to be a copyright straight. Copyright 2025 by Source Books. Text by Liz Saunders. Illustrated by Leslie Dale Scott. Designed by Georgia Marsery. All reserved. Source Books and the corporation and the registered trademarks of Source Books. And that was basically that credits roll. But anyway, so was the Leprechaun. That's the St. Patrick's Day alphabet. Something like that. Well, it was a little catchy to read, but you know, so far this book wasn't completely successful, but that's just me. That was Bedtime Stories episode number 812. Hope you enjoy. This is going to be another Bedtime Stories episode number 813, which will be about Biscuit and Friends, visit a community garden. Now I'm scooping at 3 of the most projects, well, 7 of the most basic projects, and I gotta get some sleep. Because after this, after this, I'm gonna do 2 more projects to do for YouTube. Well, 1 for YouTube to be able to use April Fool's Day, 1 of which will be a film I'm redoing for I'm Gary Go Atlanta. And I'm gonna get ready for some other things to do with talking to my family members and get uploading to do before I get ready to go back. Because after this is over, I'm gonna get packing, go to Atlanta, and get ready to do some things random. Till next time, so John's by me, William says it out. See ya.